Hello, and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Tonight is episode 2 of the vlogging side of Vlogging Pod with Ari Nelson. As promised, this is my second episode of the vlogging side of the Vlogging Pod. And if you've listened to the first one, you kind of understand the premise that I was going for this. So tonight's title is Downward Camera Angle. So, downward camera angle. Totally. I'm 50, and 2 years prior, I did keto successfully, as a matter of fact, and lost over 50 pounds. But now the keto is at a handstill, and even with workouts, I feel, well, 50. Oh, it's not I shouldn't say it's not horrible. I'm just not attractive to myself, if that makes sense. Not attracted to the physique that I was getting to be more adjusted to with the keto. Now, I should point out here that within my lifetime, I have been so many sizes. Sometimes getting there not so healthily, but if that's even a word. But I've been a little bit of everything. And hence the camera pose or pause in my life. And that burning desire to feel that attractiveness for the me I feel that's not with me. I guess you could say the weight gain has been attributed to stress. I mean, since my father's illness and then ultimately his passing, going on 4 months now. I wish I could say that this knowledge is easier for me, but I push it so far away at times and focus on other things like my mother and the build of her apartment here at our home. And as for mom, because the first podcast, you might have listened to that in reference to my mother and myself as far as our interactions. And her days are not as dark as of late. We've had many a pleasant conversation. Today, we even went grocery shopping and talk for hours on the phone. And what's amazing, excuse me, what's amazing is that all the things that my mother struggled with um, when my father was here, and she relied on him so much for as far as technology and the fire stick or the cell phone, things that she doesn't like. She is striving so much more on him, and it's bittersweet. I mean, there's just no way of other thinking about it. It's just bittersweet. But I'm so proud of her to accomplish something new and out of her norm that it's just amazing to look at her. Even she, like myself, is doing the steps. But I get ahead of myself. So Jeff, my husband, and I are building and thinking about that and planning. It keeps my focus, like looking at it and thinking, okay, this can go there and that can go here. And we could do this, mom, and we could do that. What do you want to put here? What do you want to put there? And when I think of my hubby, Jeff, he rocks. I mean, he is so open armed when it comes to my family. But I'll be honest, hearing him share his despair with me over my father's passing, well, it was so difficult. Just so flippin' difficult. I found myself, well, feeling so flippin' selfish, as if I were the only one with the rights to grieve over my father. And even after 31 years, as if I had the right in our marriage to have the higher ground to grieve above him. And I'm not proud of that moment. I'm really ain't. Um, it's not something I had an argument with him about, but it went through my head. It was like, "Oh, really? Really? Really?" Mm. Grief is such a long, undying entity that swallows me if I leave myself to the lapses of time where I'm not physically moving. So, the writing, as you know, I've written a few of books within my time, and at those times, those are struggling, but the walks are endless, flipping endless. Each step leads me to the days of 33,000 steps, often losing myself to 5 to 9 miles a day. And I'm always surprised by that, like, I'm thinking, "Man, I should be super flippin' thin." Where? Why? Why? Mm, but I invest so much time in it, but it's not a bad thing. It's really helped me take my mind off of thinking too much of what I coulda, shoulda, would have done or what because it's not gonna change anything, with my father's whole predicament at the time. And so when I'm walking these 33,000 steps a day, I'm reading books or talking to family and trying to move beyond thinking so much about it. I don't know. It's very hard. And even with not wanting to think about it, I have so much guilt of just not wanting to think about it. That seems so turn around, right? It doesn't seem quite rational. And, if it weren't anybody else but me, I would say rational. Play something here, but it's me. So rational has no real true meaning here. Anyways, I'm working on it. And the steps help. I like losing myself into the worlds that come through Audible. And it helps to just take myself out of this particular world into another one where I have to, you know, it just helps. I want to thank you so much for listening tonight. God, I think really that vlogging in this way through the podcast is what therapeutic? Could it be? My little bit of therapy? Well, tonight I don't have an Amazon deal of the day, but I want to leave you maybe not with a deal of the day, but with my undying gratitude for listening in and being here. Until next time, bye bye for now.